Hey guys, welcome back to Stock My Closet. For today's video, I have taken 2 meter spun fabric and half meter cotton lace, and this is a measurement I'm using. You can adjust it according to your requirement. Firstly, I'll cut out the top length, and for that I have folded the fabric by half in width. So here I have two layers of fabric. I'll just trim the uneven fabric on the top. Now I'll mark length, that is 26 inch for my measurement, and I'm adding 2 inch of seam allowance. So I'll mark a point at 28 inch and I'll cut one more length for back. Now from the on fold side, mark a point at 5 inch. Join these points. This part is for gathers. You can take more or less than 5 inch depending on how much gathers you want. Now taking this as guiding line, I'll mark the measurements. For shoulder, take half of shoulder width. In my measurement, shoulder width is 14.5 inch. Half of it will be 7.25 inch. I'm adding 0.25 inch to it as back neckline is 5 inch. So I'll mark a point at 7.5 inch. Neck width is 3 inch. Mark half inch downwards for shoulder slope and join it to the neck width point. From this point, mark half of armhole round, that is 7 inch in my measurement. Extend this point. Now mark 1 inch inwards for front armhole curve and join it to the shoulder slope point. Now I'll mark the vertical measurements. From top, mark a point at 10.5 inch shoulder to bust measurement, 14.5 inch shoulder to waist measurement, and 21 inch shoulder to hip measurement. I'll just extend these points and now I'll mark round measurements. For chest, I'm adding 2 inch of ease. In my measurement, chest round is 35 inch. 35 plus 2 is 37 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 9.25 inch. For burst, again I'm adding 2 inch of ease. In my measurement, burst round is 36 inch. 36 plus 2 is 38 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 9.5 inch. For waist, I'm adding 3 inch of ease. In my measurement, waist round is 31 inch. 31 plus 3 is 34 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 8.5 inch. For hip, I'm adding 3 inch of ease. In my measurement, hip round is 38 inch. 38 plus 3 is 41 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 10.25 inch. Join waist to hip and extend that line to the bottom round. Now measure hip to bottom, that's around 7 inch. Mark same point on the opposite side and join it to the bottom with the curve ruler like this. Adding seam allowance on the sides, and now I'll draw front and back armhole curve. Now I'll mark front neck depth, that is 8.5 inch, including half inch for seam allowance. For the design I want to create, I have to insert lace on the front part of the bodies, and I have placed the lace exactly where I want it to be. It is slightly above armhole and half inch above neckline. And now I'll mark top and bottom side of the lace. So I've marked the bottom side. Now I'll mark the top side as well. Lace width is 1 inch. And now I'm marking midpoint, that is half inch, to separate front bodies into two parts, yoke and the bottom part. and in between I'll attach the lace. And here I got half inch of fabric for seam allowance on both top and the bottom side. So I've cut it out. I've divided front bodies into three parts: yoke, lace, and bottom part. This part is for gathers, and I'll be adding gathers only on the bottom part. I'm not adding gathers on the yoke part, so I'll just trim it out, adding quarter inch of seam allowance, and I'll cut it out. So front cutting is complete, and now I'll cut the back. For back, again I have cut out the required length, that is 28 inch, including 2 inch for seam allowance, and I have folded the fabric by half in width. So here I have two layers of fabric. Now place front on the back. So I'm not adding lace on the back side, but I'll add gathers just like the front part. So I'm cutting bottom part as it is, and for the yoke part I'll keep it on fold for the back side. So I've matched this line with the on fold side of the back, and as I'm not adding lace on the back side, so I just need half inch of seam allowance to attach back, bottom and yoke. And now I'll cut it out. So I've cut it out, and now I'll separate back, bottom and yoke. Now I'll mark and cut back neckline. Neck width is 3 inch and neck depth is 6 inch, including half inch for seam allowance. And with this, cutting of top is complete. Now I'll stitch it. I'll start with finishing the bottom round, and for that double fold the seam allowance and make a stitch on the inner edge to secure it. So I've finished the bottom round. Now I'll finish the front bodies. Here I'll make basting stitch to add gathers, and I'll stitch center joint of yoke. To make basting stitch, select the highest stitch length on your sewing machine and make a straight stitch. And this is how it will look. So I made basting stitch, and I've also made center joint on the yoke. Pull bobbin thread and adjust gathers on the bottom according to the yoke width. So I've adjusted the gathers, and I have folded and ironed the seam allowance on both yoke part and the bottom part. Also, I have finished the edges with overlocking. If you don't want to overlock, you can make very thin fold and make a stitch to secure the edges, and after that make gathers. Now I'll attach the lace. Measure lace length with the yoke width. Leave half inch of seam allowance on both sides and cut it out. Fold the lace by half and mark the center point. Mark center on the bottom part as well. Open the seam allowance. Now place right side of lace on the right side of fabric. Match it with the crease line. pin it up, and now I'll make a stitch. So I have attached lace with the bottom part, and this is how it will look. Now I'll attach it with the yoke. So I have joined lace with the yoke part and I have pinned it up. Now I'll make a stitch to secure it. So I made a stitch, and this is how lace will look from the back side, and this is from the front side. Now I'll finish the neckline. You can make any desired neckline shape. So I've finished the neckline, and this is how it will look. Now similarly I'll finish the back side. I made basting stitch and I have adjusted gathers according to the yoke width. I've marked center on both yoke and the bottom part. Now place yoke on the bottom, right sides together, and make a stitch. So I've attached the yoke. Now I'll overlock it. I have finished both front and back. Now place front on the back, right sides together, and stitch shoulder slope on both sides. So I've stitched shoulder slope on both sides. Now I'll stitch the side fitting seam. So I made a stitch, and with this my top is ready, and this is how it looks. Thanks for watching guys. Hope you like this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and do subscribe my channel for more such videos. I'll see you next week. Till then, take care. Bye bye.